What's up, YouTube? Shinobi Trades here. I'm gonna walk you through uh, what happened for today's trades. Today is Monday, April 28th, and we're gonna look at today's trades from three different aspects. We're gonna look at it from what if I were to follow the algorithm, right, the strategy to the T, how many points we've gotten in the Nasdaq today. Then I'm gonna go over what I actually was able to do, and then we're going to go over what the maximum amount, the max potential, when you add in all the entries and everything, what was the max potential. So what the actual logic was for the trades, what the what I was able to actually pull out and do from the market, and then what is the absolute max potential. So first, let's start off with the algorithm, right? So the algorithm, the logic, the trade logic, the strategy, how and what it was able to do if I follow it to a T. All right. So first things first, we're looking over here. We got a short bias. All right. So moving forward, if you see here, we have an entry here. Let me zoom in on this so we can see it. So got roughly 42 points from this break here. So what that means now is I'd be looking for price to come back, kind of fill in this little gap that we got here, and try to continue down lower. All right, we have a sell bias because on our 30-minute, that's pushing down. Right, I have a little indicator going off right here. So looking to enter that trade, boom, we're in there, and this actually gave us a stop. Right, so that was a losing trade, lost about 25 points roughly on that one. Not a big deal, that happens. So we'll keep forward. But now we're getting a long bias, so the only thing we're looking for is longs, right? To see if we get any longs or anything like that. We're waiting this little drop down, and then here's our signal start looking for longs. Now in this huge candle, we got, what is that, 107 points. So the same process, we're not going to just take it at the top. We're going to try to enter this trade from once this entire gap is filled. So as price started going forward throughout the day, I was waiting for it, and price just shot down. I wasn't out of it yet though, right? This price just shot down, so I kind of went over and found where's the last low candle that I can find, which was this. I hit my stop behind that, and that's what the algorithm says to do. But then it just taps us out, right? It just literally comes down. Well, that wasn't just a tap, that was a good, 20 points or whatever. But we got out somewhere around there, and that's what the algo would say. So that was a loss. So that's two losses down. I mean, it happens again. But now we switch back over to the short bias, and this actually went forward just a little quickly, because if I were to move it back, short bias actually was shown right here. All right, so we push back down, so now we're back looking towards the shorts. So I move this down, the same process happens, right? And move this out the way. What I'm looking for is trying to fill this zone here. So as that comes over, if we come in, we actually get tapped in there, and we're waiting. And essentially, we're going to keep riding this until there's some reason to get out, right? And the reason we'd be looking for is this indication right here, right? Now we won't just get out just because we have this pushing up, or we'd always look to the first candle that's over, that's higher, and we'd move our stop. Right, so now we're in profit, a good 120 something points. So basically we got the money back from this, 25 points and this 70, right? Call it roughly around 100, but now we're at least in profit, 129 points. Beautiful. So as this starts dropping, we start going down more. We got more selling pressure, which is great, right? We don't even need to move this yet, because the way we're going to get out is once we have this push up, we'll look over to the next candle that's higher, and then that's what we'll use as our stop. So we keep this riding down, right? Keep going down. That's pushing up. All right, so we have our next candle here. So we have this. We look over to the next candle that's higher, and that's where we have our stop at now. So right now we're looking at about 200 points. So it's not too bad. We basically got that money back and plus some, by a large amount. And now we're just trying to see if we are going to keep riding down. So as price goes, that actually takes us out. It is what it is. All right, so boom, we're in profit now, roughly a little bit over 100 points for the day. But now we switched our bias. looking at our 30-minute, we're now on the long bias. You know what? I'll do that there. Now the long bias, and now we're going to be looking for long trades. So as this goes, and of course you probably can figure we're probably going to get a long trade there because I already have it set up, but that's where the long trade came in. And same process, we're going to keep this riding forward. And until we get the opposite, until we get something that's saying sell, we need to keep staying in it. So price is moving up. Haven't really had to move our stop forward yet. So we have that push up, and actually here's that stop. So we have here, so what we do is we come over, where's the next candle that's lower. So here's a stop, move this over here, like that. We're gonna try to ride in, so we locked in 62 points. So as just coming through, that actually ends up getting us out. So it's not too bad. We got what? Roughly 25 points there, right? 70, 72 down there, about 200 here, and about 60 here. So right around 160, 170. I'll do the full calculation in a minute, but roughly around there. All right, so that's what just following the algorithm, just following the logic, the trade strategy, that's what that produced. All right, so today what I was able to do was switch this over. And I won't go through every single step just like we did just for the sake of time, but I was able to pull off a little bit more than what the algorithm was able to do. And that's kind of how I did it. So I had that first trade, and that one took me out again for about 25 points. All right, the second trade, we had that drop down, and I tried to get into the long, but it just shot through there and took me out, right? So I was out for about 70, 77, 75 points. Now, the thing that I do regret is for the short, what should have happened is I should have gotten in at that high point. But, you know, what happens with traders, sometimes you get a little anxious. You want to jump in early. You want to follow your strategy all the way to a T. And I actually ended up getting early, right? So instead of me getting in up here, which was about, what is that, about 40 points higher, I ended up getting in down here. And I had to suffer and wait through all of this before the market finally dropped, and it was a pain. That was how many minutes was that? Yeah, it was about 40 minutes of price going up, then coming back down, and going up, and then finally coming back down. So it took a minute, unfortunately, but that's, you know, part of trading. And price dropped down, and I got it at the same spot, so got around 159 points in there. So I got my money back off of these two. The next trade I was able to get was this move going up, right? Because we had that long bias that happened over here on my 30-minute, and then I was able to get the move up. Now, the reason I didn't get out down here is real simple. For the prop firm that I use, you have until what, right around 4:15 or 4:10, I believe it is, to get out. The market was coming up and it was 350. And right around here at the very top where I got out, I think it might have been 353, 354. And my thought was, do you really want to try to just wait and gamble and see? Like, you're running out of time. You've gotten almost 155, 160 points. Just take your money and be done for the day. Like, just take it. So that's what I did. I just took the money. And also the other thing that kind of made me think that is, right here we have 1, 2, I'll move this out the way. We had 1, 2, 3, 4 candles that really never closed higher. It was in this kind of consolidation. So for roughly 20 minutes we didn't do anything. Then we had one candle that slightly closed higher, and then the very next one, I believe that was what, a 50-point rally up. Yeah, 53 points. So in my brain, I'm just like, we're at the end of the day. We are barely moving, and the next, we get a pop. Just take it. Just take it. We don't have to try to be exact. Just take the money. That was nice, good, solid cash. So take it. So all in all, today I was actually able to beat my own algorithm, if you will. So that when you add up everything, it's roughly around 200, 212, 215 points, something like that. So it was pretty good. I felt proud of myself for being able to do that. So next we're going to switch over to what is the max potential, right? The absolute maximum potential for what you're able to, all the entries are able to do. So that's from the highest point, the very best entry, to the very, very best exit, right? It's near impossible to do this ever, but still want to see. So this first trade again, lost 25. Second trade, lost around 77 points. third trade, that was the banger right there, right? Perfect entry, dropped all the way down. That would actually gave out 277 points, writing everything down. And again, this is from the best entry to the very best exit, where it went from the highest point it went to all the way down to the lowest, right around 277 points. Monster of a trade. And then at this last trade that came in, roughly 167 points from the very best entry, riding all the way up. So the potential for that, everything being perfect, was right around 377 points. And again, this is everything being pristine, and it's next to impossible. But it is kind of cool to see that the possibility of how many points were available with, with my strategy. And that's a cool thing I think that everyone should do with any of their strategies. See what the actual strategy did, see what you were able to do and pull out from it, and then see what was the maximum potential, right? What were you able, or what's the actual possibility of what your strategy is able to do? So that's going to be it for today. Going to wrap it up. I got three different ones again. The algo was able to do 170. I was able to pull out roughly 212, 213 points, and the max potential was 377. So I was able to pull out a decent amount from the maximal potential. All right, but that's it, YouTube. I appreciate you. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and see you next time.